Initiatives are short-term projects to help reach a goal, typically to improve performance and can include many tasks and milestones. Spider Impact allows tracking an initiative's progress alongside the performance it was intended to drive. It also helps organizations identify underperforming initiatives so budget dollars can be reinvested. I'll illustrate this with three examples. In my first example, I'm the head of customer service for Mobile World and am responsible for maintaining a happy customer base and keeping them as customers. To monitor customer churn and satisfaction, I might leverage a dashboard as shown here. An X graph may be a good thing, depending upon what's on the axes, but in this case it's a horrible thing. Since the beginning of January 2020, my customer satisfaction rates have plummeted from 100% in January all the way down to 89%. In the meantime, our customer churn numbers have climbed from 1 in January all the way up to 10 in December. Wouldn't be too big of a leap for me to assume that these two items are directly related. The sharp increase in churn is likely due to a spike in unhappy customers. With that in mind, I might decide it's time to take some sort of action, and that's precisely where an initiative might step in. The question is, what should I do to reverse the trend? After brainstorming, I might decide that if we run monthly training classes, our clients will become more knowledgeable about the product, they'll be happier, and more likely to remain customers. I might also decide that hands-on product training will be the most effective, so I'll roll out the red carpet by renting a high-end training facility and invest a considerable amount in advertising and marketing. Within initiatives, I could create a year-long campaign in 2021 to stop customer churn. Beneath the initiative, I can create tasks and milestones to help achieve the initiative. For example, I might create a task to rent a training facility with a monthly budget of $4,000 or $48,000 for the year. I might create a second task for marketing with a monthly budget of $1,000 or $12,000 for the year. I can also set a milestone date of the end of the year to end the training classes. Once I have the entire initiative defined with budgets and timelines set, I can enter status updates for each task with a budget spent to date along with the percent complete. For example, on the rent training facility task, we might be on time and right around budget. We expected the training facility to cost us $4,000 per month, and that's exactly what we spent through April. On the advertising marketing task, we might be on time, but over budget. We had planned to spend only $1,000 per month, but we spent double that, for a grand total of $8,000 through April. Next, I'll select the initiative and review the related items section at the bottom to show that Spider Impact displays information about how the initiative is affecting customer churn. Unbelievably, I see that after 4 months of running the initiative, the impact of the customer churn measure is a negative one. To get more information, I'll click on the red icon. I see that the overall impact is based on two factors: the actual performance of the customer churn measure and its performance trend. The actual performance is determined by comparing the item's current score with what it was projected to be, based on the scores from before the initiative started. The performance trend is determined by comparing the angle of the trend lines from before and after the initiative started. Sadly, the performance trend of customer churn in the 4 months after the initiative started has only gotten worse. I'll select Close. Since this negative impact was not at all what we expected, I may develop a dashboard to dig deeper into why. I'll select Dashboards and select the Stop Customer Churn dashboard to scrutinize this further. On the left, I have two measures I'm tracking: customer satisfaction percent and customer churn. I've got them both in the blue, while the initiative is in orange at the bottom. Towards the bottom, I can add an image for the calendar along with gray line separation images. I can add bubbles displaying the actual performance in the 4 months prior to when the initiative started in January 21. I can see customer satisfaction had performed in the red the last 2 months of the year and customer churn the last 3 months, which is why the initiative was implemented to begin with. To the right of the initiative start line, I can add bubbles displaying the actual performance in the month since the initiative started. Since the initiative is planned for a year, I might decide to break up the performance and conduct a review after each trimester. At the top, we have some very good news. The monthly training courses have apparently led to much happier customers. Our satisfaction rates are not only way up since the initiative started, but are trending in the green the last 3 months. With that said, I'll give its performance a green check for the trimester. Moving down to the customer churn measure. Unfortunately, I see that the Spider Impact statistical analysis was correct. Since the initiative started, our churn numbers have only gotten worse. We've gone from 10 in the 3 months prior to the start of the initiative to a whopping 15 in March and April. To my chagrin, I have no choice but to give its performance a red for the trimester. Moving down to the initiative, the news only gets worse. Of the 60,000 allotment for the year, we are in the red as we are over budget. Of the 20,000 we should have spent year to date, we are 4,000 over at 24. Since we are over budget and we are not anywhere close to the performance we are expecting with customer churn, I not only have to give its performance a red X for the trimester, but also deem that the entire initiative should be canceled. However, as we see with the green check, not all is bad. Since the training helped greatly improve our satisfaction rates, I'm deciding to continue to run the classes, but have the trainer run them from home and offer the classes online instead. We'll stop the training facility rental and the cash outlay on marketing, saving us the remaining budget of $36,000. The question now is, how can we make better use of those funds? In the coming days, I'll gather with my team to try to get to the bottom of the customer churn problem. It may have resulted from a competitor offering 5G before we did, or offering new customers free promotions. Once a determination is made of the true cause of the issue, we'll perhaps invest the remaining funds from this canceled initiative on a new offering or new marketing campaign. Let's move on to a different example, one that will hopefully put us in better spirits. I'll start by selecting the Ad Clicks dashboard. In this example, I may be the head of marketing and be responsible for generating a high number of ad clicks. I might use this dashboard to help track actual performance per month versus the goal of 1,500. As with customer churn and satisfaction, sadly, I'm noticing a continuous downward trend with ad clicks. We went from a high of 1,500 in January to a depressing low of 1,415 in December. Once again, I might decide to implement an initiative to reverse the course. After brainstorming, I might decide that if we can improve our ad campaign and refine our target audience, we can increase our ad clicks, which will hopefully increase our leads and our sales. Within initiatives, I could create a campaign to increase quantity of ad clicks. Beneath the initiative, I can create tasks and milestones to help achieve the initiative. For example, I might come up with a game plan to refine our ad headline and refine our target audience, granting $2,500 to complete each task. After a month of research, we'll get together as a team over lunch to make a final decision on the ad headline and target audience. After status updates are entered, I see that the initiative is exactly on time and on budget. But before I get too happy, I need to determine if the initiative has helped improve our ad clicks. I'll go back to dashboards and select the Increase Ad Clicks dashboard. Although this dashboard is a completely different style than the dashboard I showed earlier with customer churn, it is still very helpful to analyze performance. The graph at the top is like the one I showed earlier with ad clicks. However, this graph displays data through April 2021 as opposed to just 2020. Thankfully, the downward trend in ad clicks stopped immediately after the initiative was enacted in January. By April, ad clicks were not only trending up, but were in the green for the first time since January 2020. In the bottom left, I could include a timeline widget to reinforce that the boon in ad clicks performance was driven by this initiative. It was completed on time and on budget, and our ad clicks have been skyrocketing since it was implemented. In the bottom right, I can also include a note to summarize those findings. Let's move on to one last example, one that shows the usage of initiatives to improve employee performance. I'll start by selecting the briefcase icon at the top and select the team org. Once again, I'll be playing the role of the head of customer service responsible for a call center where we receive about 500 calls a month. Over the years, we've had a very small team of 2 people, Jack and Jill, fielding those calls. They've been with the company for years and each excel at their job, leading to consistently hitting our goals for average time to resolve and calls handled. Unfortunately, last June, one of the 2 agents, Jack, decided to retire, leaving us with a gaping hole on the team. Jill worked overtime and did her best to field as many extra calls as she could, but our calls handled in July and August took a huge dip. We acted quickly to fill the role and were able to hire John in September. We provided him intense training on the product for 2 weeks and hoped within a couple months of him being on the job our numbers would return to the Jack and Jill levels. Unfortunately, 4 months into John's tenure, our calls handled are consistently in the red. Our calls handled in December is 400, still 100 below our desired goal of 500. To help determine why, let's go to the John org and select the calls handled dashboard. When he started in September, John's average time to resolve was poor as expected at 7. He improved a bit to 6 hours in October, but he stagnated at 5 in November and December. As for calls handled, he started off really slow with 50 in his start month, improved a bit to 100, and stagnated at 150 in November and December, 100 short of the goal of 250. In speaking with John, he mentioned that although the product training was good in September, the types of questions he gets are very diverse, and it's taking him an extremely long time to research each one. He informed me that if he had a month to research and analyze past tickets, he can then compile them into a template that can be used as a quick resource guide to help resolve his calls faster. With that sounding like a great idea, I've decided to empower John to use Spider Impact to create his own initiative to improve the situation. The first step is for John to create the initiative. Within his own org, he would select initiatives and then select Create Initiative. He'd provide a name for it, like Increased Call Handling Capability. Since there will be sub-items, he'll leave the start date, due date, and total budget blank. He'll then select Create to create the initiative. To create a subtask, he would click on the new initiative and then select New Initiative Item. Give it a name like Analyze Past Tickets for Common Requests. Change the type to Task. Give himself the month of January to complete it, typing 1/1/2021 for the start date and then 1/31/2021 for the due date. No budget's required, so he'll leave that blank. In the bottom left, he could assign it to himself. However, he'll leave that blank for now and click Create. To create a second task, he would type Create Template Responses for Common Issues as the name. Once again, he'll give himself a month to complete the task, starting on January 1 and ending on the 31st of January. Once again, no budget's required. He'll leave that blank and click Create. He can then select Done and start working on his tasks. He can choose to update the status in Spider Impact week by week, but in this case, he'll wait until his work is done. When he's ready, he would select the first task and then select Add Status Update. He would change the date, maybe January 31st of 2021, provide a percent complete of 100, and with no money spent on it, would click Add. Click on the second task and do exactly the same thing. provided %complete and click Add for that one. If he then clicks on the initiative, he can see it is complete and on time. If he would like to create a link to the measures this initiative supports, he can click Add within Related Items. He could select Scorecard Item, and then select Help Desk Calls and click Add. He might then click on the related item and get taken directly to the scorecards view. If he is responsible for updating his measures, he can click on each of them, select Update KPI Values, enter the value, and then click Save. In this case, he'll just click Cancel. From here, John can already see a lot of green with the two measures. But to visualize the impact of the initiative even better under dashboards, John created a dashboard named Improve Call Handling to track his progress. He placed the two measures, average time to resolve and calls handled, in blue, and the initiative Improve Call Handling in orange. To the left of the initiative start line, John added his performance since his start date in September and before the initiative started. Although his numbers slightly improved, he was in the red each month and way below goal. To the right of the initiative start line, John can see his recent performance. As he worked to develop the call handling template in January, his numbers in January dipped quite a bit from December. However, once the template was finalized at the end of the month, his performance improved in February and March. In April, for the first time ever, he hit the average time to resolve goal of 1 and calls handled of 250. The initiative can be deemed a rousing success, and John is well on the road to becoming a star employee like Jack and Jill.